What if the cream cheese you've been spreading on your bagel every single morning isn't actually cream cheese? Not in the way you think it is, not in the way the label implies, not in the way the brand's 100-year legacy suggests. What if it's a water and gum slurry, chemically stabilized with ingredients that a growing body of research links to gut inflammation, insulin resistance, and intestinal damage? And you've been eating it, feeding it to your kids, and paying full cream cheese prices for it? That's why today I'm exposing 8 cream cheese brands you need to either reconsider or skip entirely, and counting down 5 that are actually made the right way. Real cream, real culture, real cheese. This investigation is built on label analysis, ingredient science, FDA data, and sourced research. I'm not guessing. Let's get started with number 8, the bad list. Number 8, Trader Joe's cream cheese spread. Trader Joe's has built one of the most loyal fan bases in American grocery retail. The store is practically a religion for a certain kind of shopper. People love the prices, the vibe, the exclusive feeling labels. And honestly, some of their products are genuinely great. But here's the problem with their cream cheese spread. Flip the label over and you'll find not 1, not 2, but 3 separate gum stabilizers: locust bean gum, guar gum, and carabine gum, all working in concert to hold water inside the product and mimic the thick, creamy texture that real cream cheese gets from actual fat content. That's not craftsmanship. That's chemistry covering for cheaper ingredients. Here's why it matters. Carrageenan and related gum stabilizers have been linked in research to gut lining damage, impaired blood sugar processing, and increased risk of conditions like Crohn's disease and type 2 diabetes. You're not just buying a tub of cheese. You're buying a gut inflammation delivery system with a friendly label. The texture gives it away too, slightly gluey when cold, almost slippery at room temperature. Not what real cream cheese feels like on a bagel. And for what Trader Joe's charges, right around $3 to $3.50 a tub depending on your market. There are cleaner options at the same price point, which we'll get to later. The next brand commits the exact same multi-gum sin, but it's flying a different flag, a corporate one. Number 7, Happy Farms Aldi Spread. Happy Farms is Aldi's house cream cheese brand, and on the surface, it checks every value shopper box. Simple packaging, low price, widely available. If you're doing a big grocery run at Aldi, it's almost a default grab. However, Happy Farms spread relies on multiple artificial thickeners, including modified food starch, to replicate a cream-forward texture without the cream to back it up. It's engineered to taste fine, and that is not a bar I'll accept for a dairy product my kids eat on a Saturday morning. The science matters. Research shows these stabilizers degrade the intestinal mucus barrier and directly activate pro-inflammatory pathways. The more they stack up in a single product, the more damage you're absorbing every time you spread. Texture-wise, Happy Farms spread tends to feel slightly thin and almost foamy. You can almost sense the air whipped in to give it volume it didn't earn from cream. And here's a fact that should make Aldi fans genuinely uncomfortable. A significant 2024 cream cheese recall distributed through Aldi involved Happy Farms products, alongside Essential Everyday and others, as part of an FDA action tied to potential salmonella contamination. That is not a minor footnote. Happy Farms and our next brand share more than just a formula flaw. They share a manufacturer. Number 6, Essential Everyday Cream Cheese Spread. Essential Everyday is a store brand distributed by Super Value and sold under various banners across the country. It positions itself as the sensible, everyday choice. No frills, just food, which sounds fine until you look at what the food actually is. Essential Everyday Spread relies on a gum and stabilizer framework, including guar gum and locust bean gum, to compensate for lower cream content. It's the same play every bottom-tier brand is running. Less of the expensive stuff, more of the binding agents. That is not a rounding error. That's a supply chain failure at industrial scale. The taste experience is predictably flat. It's creamy in the way that wall spackle is smooth. Technically correct, totally characterless. At around $2.50 to $3 a tub, you're saving maybe 80 cents versus a real product. That's 80 cents to put a recalled, stabilizer-loaded spread on your morning toast. At least this brand didn't take things to the level of what our next entry is doing with its pricing versus quality ratio. Number 5, Good & Gather Cream Cheese Spread. Target. Good & Gather is Target's premium house food brand, and they've done a genuinely good job marketing. The fonts are clean, the colors are calm, it sits right next to the organic produce. It looks like it belongs in the clean eating aisle, but look at the ingredient panel on the spread version, and you'll find the same stabilizer play. Guar gum, locust bean gum, and carabine gum, layered in to bulk up moisture and mimic a richness that lower cream content can't naturally deliver. There's something particularly grating about a so-called premium store brand using the same cheap-out formula as a discount label, and then charging more for the privilege. The sensory experience is marginally better than the budget options. It spreads without tearing bread, which is the bare minimum task, but it has an unmistakable soft, airy texture that gives away the additives instantly. At around $3.50 to $4 per tub, you are paying a target markup for an Aldi formula. If Good and Gather at least leans into a premium illusion, the next brand just flat out doesn't care. Number 4. Kroger Cream Cheese Spread. Kroger is the largest supermarket chain in the United States by revenue. Their store brand is everywhere, and their cream cheese spread follows the exact same formula you've been seeing across this list. Extra water and artificial gums doing the structural work that real cream should be doing. The tell is on the label. Water shows up earlier than you'd like in the ingredient list, and carrageenan is doing its inflammation-adjacent best to hold the whole thing together. A 2021 review of research found a possible relationship between increased carrageenan consumption and the risk of IBD relapse, and a 2024 clinical trial further suggested a relationship between carrageenan intake and insulin resistance. At roughly $2.50 for an 8-ounce tub, Kroger is at least honest about what it is, a value product. The problem is consumers almost never read value product as built on a gum infrastructure. But before we hit the halfway point of this list, take a second and hit that like button and subscribe. Every week we go inside the food industry to find out what's actually in the stuff on your shelves. You do not want to miss the next one. All right, we're moving. The next brand on the list is also a private label product, but it's hiding behind a much more carefully constructed image. Number 3. Great Value Cream Cheese Spread, Walmart. Great Value is Walmart's flagship private label line, and cream cheese is one of its highest volume products. Walmart sells more grocery units than any retailer in America, so when Great Value Cream Cheese has a problem, it's a problem at scale. The Great Value spread uses modified food starch and a combination of stabilizer gums, the same toolkit as our previous entries, to cut dairy costs while maintaining spreadable consistency. Modified food starch is a highly processed carbohydrate derivative. It does one thing: holds water and bulk in a product that would otherwise be too thin to pass as cream cheese. The texture here is noticeably gummy when cold, almost elastic, which is the modified starch doing its job a little too obviously. For under $2.50 for 8 ounces, Great Value is priced to move, and it does millions of units a month. That's millions of households spreading additive-loaded, water-padded cream product on their bagels, English muffins, and kids' crackers without realizing it's not even close to the real thing. Our next brand doesn't get Walmart's excuse of being a discount product. It's charging full price for the same kind of shortcut. Number 2. President Cream Cheese. President is a European dairy brand, part of the Lactalis Group, one of the world's largest dairy conglomerates, and it carries a certain old-world credibility. The branding evokes French countryside dairy tradition. The name itself practically has an accent on it. Consumers reach for it because it signals quality. In reality, President Cream Cheese uses sorbic acid as a preservative, a chemical additive that most genuinely premium cream cheese producers don't bother, because real cream cheese with a clean fermentation process doesn't need an artificial preservative to survive on a shelf. The flavor is actually decent. Lactalis knows dairy, but there's a faint chemical undertone on the finish that careful tasters pick up. That's the sorbic acid doing its thing. At roughly $3 to $4 for in 6.3 ounces, 180 G, you're paying artisan-adjacent prices for a product built on an industrial preservative. President at least has European dairy pedigree to lean on. The worst betrayal of all on this list comes from the brand that helped define American cream cheese. Number 1. Philadelphia Cream Cheese, whipped and tub spread versions. Here we go. Philadelphia, the brand that essentially invented commercial cream cheese in America. On breakfast tables since the 1870s, the foundation of a century of cheesecake recipes. But here's the distinction the brand's marketing deliberately blurs. The block is not the same product as the tub and whipped spreads. Those convenient, ready-to-spread versions, a massive share of Philadelphia's sales volume, contain carrageenan and guar gum to trap water and fake the cream content of the original block. The whipped version feels like progress. Light, airy, easy to spread. But that airiness is gum and water, not cream, with a faintly synthetic sweetness the block never has. Philadelphia's 2021 supply crisis proved how dependent the country had become on this one brand. Kraft Heinz shipped 35% more product than the prior year during the pandemic and still couldn't keep up. You're paying $4 to $5 for the tub. For that price, you deserve the block. You're not getting it. But enough with the fakes. the gums, and the water-padded imposters. It's time to see what real cream cheese actually looks and tastes like. Here are 5 cream cheese brands that are actually worth buying. Made with traditional ingredients, no gum infrastructure, no stabilizer scaffolding, just cream, milk, salt, and culture. The good list. Number 5. Nancy's Organic Probiotic Cream Cheese. Nancy's has been making cultured dairy products since 1960 out of Springfield, Oregon, and they built their entire brand identity around one thing: live, active cultures in every product. That's not marketing, it's their founding principle. Nancy's Organic Probiotic Cream Cheese contains no artificial gums, no thickeners, and no stabilizers. The ingredient list is clean: organic milk, organic cream, salt, cheese culture, and live probiotic cultures including Lactobacillus acidophilus and Bifidobacteria. That's it. The National Organic Standards Board has specifically voted to remove carrageenan from organic certified products, and Nancy stays well clear of it. From a nutrition standpoint, a 2-tablespoon serving delivers approximately 2 grams of protein, 90 calories, and 0 added sugar. Exactly what you'd expect from real cream cheese with no filler padding the numbers. The texture is dense and slightly tangy, noticeably firmer and more complex than anything on the bad list. That tang is live cultures doing their job, not a gum trying to fake richness. Available at Whole Foods, Sprouts, and most natural grocery retailers, Nancy's typically runs about $4 to $4.50 for 8 ounces, competitive with the name brand fakes. Zero compromise required. If probiotic functionality isn't your priority and you just want clean simplicity at a mainstream store, the next brand is your answer. Number 4. Simple Truth Organic Cream Cheese. Simple Truth Organic is Kroger's natural and organic house line. And here's the irony that should not be lost on anyone. It is dramatically better than Kroger's own standard store brand spread. The right hand cleaning up what the left hand made. Simple Truth Organic's ingredient panel is as short as it gets for a product you can find in a mainstream grocery aisle. Organic milk, organic cream, salt, and cheese culture. No guar gum, no locust bean gum, no carrageenan, no modified starch, no sorbic acid. It's USDA certified organic, which means carrageenan is entirely off the table. The National Organic Standards Board saw to that. You're getting real cream cheese by legal definition, not a gum-stabilized approximation of one. Per 2 tablespoon serving, approximately 90 calories, 2 grams of protein, and 95 milligrams of sodium. Clean and predictable numbers. The flavor is mild and subtly sweet, a slightly less tangy profile than Nancy's, which makes it a perfect all-purpose cream cheese for spreading, cooking, and baking. At roughly $3.50 to $4 for 8 ounces at Kroger family stores, this is one of the best value-to-quality ratios on this entire list. If you want to step up from organic mainstream to something with genuine regional dairy pedigree, the next brand is the move. Number 3. Organic Valley Cream Cheese. Organic Valley is a farmer-owned cooperative founded in 1988 in Wisconsin, and it is one of the most rigorously sourced dairy brands in the United States. They don't just put organic on a label. They operate as a cooperative where the farmers are the company, with over 1,800 family farms across the country. Their cream cheese is made with organic, pasture-raised milk and traditional cultures. The ingredient list: organic pasteurized milk, organic pasteurized cream, salt, and cheese culture. That is the entire list. No exceptions, no asterisks. Organic Valley holds USDA organic certification, and because of their cooperative structure, milk sourcing standards are audited at the farm level, not just at the processing plant. When they say pasture-raised, it is traceable and independently verified. 2 tablespoons, 90 calories, 2 grams of protein, 105 milligrams of sodium. Honest, predictable numbers. The texture is notably firm and fresh. It has that slight, satisfying resistance when you spread it that signals real fat content doing the structural work, not stabilizers doing it artificially. Around $5 for 8 ounces at Whole Foods, Target's organic section, and natural grocers. A fair premium for what is genuinely premium sourcing and supply chain transparency. If you want that same dairy integrity and a flavor profile that skews a little richer and sweeter, the next brand is calling your name. Number 2. Tillamook Cream Cheese. Tillamook is an Oregon-based dairy cooperative founded in 1909. And if you know their cheddar, you already understand the philosophy. Real dairy, made right, without cutting corners on culture or quality. That philosophy doesn't stop at cheddar. Tillamook Cream Cheese is made with 0 carrageenan, 0 modified starch, 0 sorbic acid, none of the additives that define the bad list. The block version delivers clean dairy, without the stabilizer scaffolding that most national brands quietly rely on to extend shelf life and cut cream costs. Tillamook has won blind taste tests against major national cream cheese brands, and it shows. Their product is notably sweet and rich, with a fresh dairy finish that comes from higher cream content, not from additive engineering. It's the kind of flavor that makes you wonder why you ever bought anything else. Per serving, approximately 2 grams of protein, 90 calories, and 105 milligrams of sodium, the numbers of a real cream cheese product. You'll find Tillamook at most mainstream grocery retailers nationally: Costco, Target, Kroger, Walmart, priced at roughly $3.50 to $4.50. That's a genuinely clean cream cheese at a price point that makes the additive-filled competition look like a bad joke. The gold standard, though, is a brand that's been in your refrigerator for years, and one version of it made the bad list. The other version is the best cream cheese in America. Number 1. Philadelphia Cream Cheese, Original Block. Yes, Philadelphia is on both lists. And that single fact is the entire story of this investigation in one sentence. The original, foil-wrapped Philadelphia block, the one William Lawrence invented in Chester, New York in 1872, contains no carrageenan, no modified starch, no sorbic acid, no whipped-in water. It is the product that built the brand's reputation. It is the product the brand's name was supposed to mean every time you picked it up. The block's ingredient list is straightforward: pasteurized milk and cream, whey protein concentrate, salt, carob bean gum, and cheese culture. Carob bean gum is one of the milder and less controversial gum additives in the food supply, and crucially, it is the only additive here, compared to the carrageenan, guar gum, modified starch, and sorbic acid cocktail found in Philly's own tub and whipped versions. That is not a small distinction. That is a completely different product. It is the most widely available clean-form cream cheese in the United States. Every grocery store, every Target, every Walmart, every corner bodega that stocks dairy. At $3.50 to $4.50 for 8 ounces, it's priced like a commodity. The texture is firm, dense, and cool. It doesn't smear, it spreads with resistance, and it melts clean into warm food without breaking into a gummy paste. That's fat doing what fat is supposed to do. Per serving, 90 calories, 2 grams of protein, 105 milligrams of sodium. Exactly right. The one rule, and it is non-negotiable: by the block. The tub, the whipped, the easy spread, those are different products with different formulas and different ingredient stories. The demand surge Philadelphia experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic, when Kraft Heinz was shipping 35% more product than the prior year and still couldn't keep up, pushed those convenient, stabilizer extended spread versions to the front of the brand's identity. Don't let that rebrand fool you. The block is the gold standard. The rest of the Philadelphia lineup is a lesson in how a legacy brand trades on its own reputation while quietly changing what it's selling. That's 8 cream cheese brands that belong back on the shelf, and 5 that actually belong in your cart. The difference between the two lists isn't price. It isn't even always taste. It's ingredient honesty, and whether the brand is using your trust as a license to cut corners you can't see. Next week, we're going inside the potato chip aisle, and the amount of sodium, industrial seed oil, and acrylamide hiding in the healthy-looking bags is going to make you physically ill. You'll never look at your favorite chip the same way again. Hit subscribe so it lands in your feed the second it drops. Don't say I didn't warn you.